Hey y'all, it's your girl Sia, and I'm back with another video. Y'all, so I just wanted to check in before I start my work week. Um, just had my daughter's father come get our child because she was driving me nuts. Um, but I got her like I had to wash her hair, make sure that she was ready for the week. Because I mean, obviously, it's never as she gets older. How I feel is somebody's got to do the work, regardless of what I feel. And that's primarily because they're not doing it right. And she's about to be in middle school, high school. I'm not gonna let that kid get picked on because she's not being taught certain things that she needs to be taught in order to carry herself well, and it shouldn't cost whatever the fee is for them to pay for her hair to get done. That shouldn't be like the end all be all in terms of her hair, right? She should be able to wear her hair. It shouldn't always be in braids. It was very interesting because my kid is growing like and I'm so proud of her, you guys. Like, I will tell you this, our relationship has actually gotten a lot stronger. And I just think it's because of how much older she's getting older. So what the old folks used to tell me is that when excuse me, y'all, when children are in two sets of homes and there's one parent that's not really doing what they should have been doing, or they're making it difficult for the other parent. As you guys know, my situation, very uncalled for, but it happened. It is what it is. um and the parent is not able to rectify that situation via the court system or whatever. Usually the kid grows up to understand who's really the parent that causes the problems and who doesn't. Okay. So right now it's very interesting because my daughter's in this phase of asking questions, and she's asking the tough questions. Okay. Today's Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to everyone. My daughter, just so you guys know, it has been in a phase where she wants to get me something, and she actually wants to spend money on getting me something for, Valentine's Day. She got me some, her dad took her to get me some flowers. And then on Mother's Day, she went and got me a Mother's Day card. And it was very interesting because I want to be clear, this is what I do for her all the time. Okay. So she's used to that level of treatment. And I think she's just wanting to show her love for me the same way. Like that's just what she wants to show me, mom, like I love you, whatever. I don't ask for these things. She just asks to do them. And then she comes to me with these items. Okay. And they've been giving her a lot of hell, not dad necessarily, but the girlfriend has been giving her a lot of crap about coming here and getting me items for Mother's Day. And my daughter's mindset is like, well, she's my mom. I'm going to do what I, feel like I should do for Mother's Day. Um, I know on Valentine's Day, something that I had did was because of the flack that my daughter was getting about the flowers from the girlfriend, not her daddy, because her daddy paid for them. Okay. Um, because of that, my daughter felt that, I mean, basically I took my daughter because my daughter, there was a whole, circumstance, and something I've been trying to do is just learn how to rise above the bullshit, right? So instead of meeting her where she was, I told my daughter, I said, well, did you get her something? And my daughter's like, well, no, yada yada. I think that's dad's idea. But then when we started talking about it a little bit more, my daughter felt a little bad that she didn't get anything for Valentine's Day. So I took my daughter to go get some chocolates and a card for her. Why not? Right? It doesn't cost me nothing to be kind. And to really show the lady, I'm not trying to be your friend. I'm not here to be your friend, but to show you I'm not you. Like we're two different types of people. Like even though I can't stand the lady, I know that my daughter cares about the lady regardless of where they're at in their life right now, right? In their relationship right now. And so if my daughter feels bad and wants to do something, I'm not going to be like, no, and then give my daughter a hard time for why we got to do it. Now, don't ask me to spend a whole lot of money on her, but a card with maybe some chocolates, like, why not? you know so I guess my daughter went to go try to get me something, and a lady took her, but I sent her some money for Teachers Appreciation Week because I felt like that's for your teachers, that's kind of what you do every year. And so my guess, my daughter went and, went to go buy me something at the same time. And the girlfriend was making my daughter like really like feel bad for getting me something. And obviously that's wrong, right? Telling my daughter that, she's going to have to start working for the money that, if she wants to spend money like this, she's going to have to start working for it. And I guess my daughter turned around and asked her, like, why do you dislike my mom so much? Because for my daughter, in her mind, it's like my mom could care less. Like, like my daughter knows, like I be on some other shit. Like, let's go have fun. Let's go do this. If I'm not, I'm busy checking her about her attitude. Like, I'm more invested in my daughter than I think that to me, it's irrelevant about why I don't like you. And, I just feel like when you're a mom, your job is the best interest of the child, right? So if it makes the child happy to do something for her mom, bitch, all that attitude and all that making her feel bad because she's getting me something, it's not acceptable. It's not okay. So the thing is, though, I'm not gonna meet her where she is, right? Because like I don't care. Like, I'm the shit, in my mind. And I don't really, I don't express that through, very often. But that is pretty much, if you can imagine someone who thinks highly of themselves enough, not to say that I don't care and that, again, I'm not wrong sometimes, right? But the reality of it is, I don't know this chick. I've never known her. And I know that with everything that I've ever gone through in terms as it relates to my child as a result of this woman. So I don't owe her a goddamn thing. And it's very clear, like my stance on this has never changed, right? But I'm not going to make my daughter feel bad because she wants to get her something to show her appreciation for her, right? So then the woman always brings up that she never feels appreciated or whatever. And I'm just thinking it's interesting how that karma, it's hard because you're dealing with a kid, but in my mind, I'm like, how did this happen? We were just in court like 2 years ago, right? For exactly what I was trying to prevent now. Do you understand this? So now all this shit is really coming up, and I'm just sitting here like, okay, y'all just gonna have to live in y'all dysfunction because there ain't nothing I can do. Like, I tried to fight for this. I tried to fight against this. I already said it was coming. My intuition told me it was coming. And everybody told me I was crazy. I didn't know what I was talking about. I apparently wasn't a good mom, even though I feel like I'm a 10 times better mom than any mom, whatever mom want to be a mom to my child. However, I don't disregard her place. It's like, okay, if you want to be a part of this child's life, then, and this child likes you in her life or whatever I don't even know the nature of the relationship anymore. And I always ask my daughter to what the relationship looks like, right? Maybe not all the time, but every now and then I'll ask, because my biggest fear, what I don't want to see happening, is because the relationship between my daughter and I are getting closer. I do not want to see this woman begin to treat my daughter in a way that she has never really treated my daughter. It's to a point, my daughter, let me tell y'all something, she don't want to go home half the time. My daughter's at a point like she be crying because she feels bad. She's like, damn. So what I found out is these behaviors that I say happen don't just happen. They never happened at my daughter was telling me stories about how she done slammed doors and all types of stuff. And I finally asked her, I said, so wait, this really has been going on the whole time you've been there? Yes, mom. I was told. So who told you not to say it? My dad. So I'm sitting here, y'all gotta imagine, part of me is like, man, I'm glad my daughter's growing up. But at the same time, I'm like, the fuck? I've been right this whole time. I knew I was right. There's a lot of shit that I'm pretty right about most of the time. I'm starting to realize, and it's really starting to show, like the tables begin to turn. So this kid of mine, I'm like, oh my God, because she set herself up to be in a position where now she's like, Mom, I trust you right now more than ever because, and I think some of that, I'm gonna put my spin on it, is because she's seeing everything that I told her was gonna happen. Everything is happening, and she's sitting here looking at me like, what the hell, Mom? Like they told me I was gonna be okay, and look where I'm at. Look at this. She's not happy. The little girl's unhappy where she lives. She does not like it there. And I feel bad because every time she wants to misbehave, I send her right back. And I started doing that not really knowing she didn't really like it there anymore. But she's at an age now where they were telling her, and I'd already told her this was going to happen because you cross that age. Once you get to a certain age, folks feel like they can just throw you away. And something this lady has asked her is told her is that she would be more happy with me than she is at that house. And my daughter told her yes. My daughter is getting to a point where she's starting to fight back. And I think a part of her has always been fighting this lady. I swear to God. And I think that's part of the reason why she takes it out on me too. I think that because she's been taught to disrespect me so much, because she didn't know, it's like, well, Mom, I don't know if I can even come to you. I think kids, it's not that she internalized it, but it's, I'm gonna take it out on a parent because that's all she's hearing. But then at home they're getting it too because that's what they're trying to teach her to do, and she's rebelling, which I didn't really know that was happening, but the older people who had children knew exactly what was going down. And that's what's so bizarre to me about like the court system is it's like everything that's fucking happening right now, I literally said was going to be happening 2 years ago. And it's hard because ever since started sending my daughter home, and now that we have our own space, it's so different. My daughter doesn't want to go home. She's with me majority of the time, all weekend. It's not even the weekends and one day a weekend. No, my daughter be scheduling her time with me. If she has the time off, she gonna want to come. That's how she is. So she's in this space of really beginning to speak up, and she's recognizing that my and her relationship is actually more of a necessity than I think she understood, right? So it's very interesting because even when we get into it, which we get into it, but my thing is, if I told you to do something once, twice, three times, little girl, I mean it. So she's getting better at the behavior when she's here. Like she's getting better, right? A lot better. It is a night and day difference at times when she's here versus when we were at, my old roommates. And that's okay. I'm grateful for that, but I'm still in a place where, like, y'all, I'm finna just break her out of this all the way. And if you got to go home to your dad's, then that's where you got to go. And if you hate it at your dad's, and you gonna learn what real quickly here as you get older, that you need to get your together. And if you don't want to get it together, I pray to God she don't choose something that ain't good for her, because that's not the way to go. Right. But I think that we have a strong enough relationship. Something she'll tell me is, Mom, well, you don't seem to want me. That's what she'll tell me every time I send her home. I'm like, no, I never told you that. I want my kid. The problem is I didn't raise you to be the kind of person that you are. Like the things that she does, I've been saying she been doing it, and they've been telling me I didn't know what I was talking about. And I care for the kid. This is the thing. I want to see the child grow, but now it's like this is the time to be kind of, for me, how I see it is I'm running out of time to break her out of these behaviors. So if I got to send you home and you are miserable at home and you don't want to be at home, then little girl, that's where you're going to have to go. And I feel like that in itself, because again, I can't discipline her. I don't really have the time enough with her to discipline her. So if I send her home, she's beginning to realize, well, shoot, I want to be with my mom, so I got to act a certain way. Yes, you do. And understandably, kids are not perfect. And that's what I told her. But if I'm having to say things 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and then I got to start yelling because you ain't heard it the first few times I done said it, And then you still throwing me at it. Girl, no, you're not testing me. The testing me shit, that shit's done. Because ultimately, like I told her, you guys have put yourself in this situation. I say you guys because it's all of them. They all unhappy. Duh. What did you think was going to happen? This was a kid, not a freaking prize to be won. It was a child to be raised. And a child, while I appreciate her dad and her dad, let me say something. In the sense that he has his own, right? That is credible. Okay. I'd much rather have a child with a man of his status than a man lesser than. I'm just saying. However, you allowed this shit to happen. And so now it's like, as a mom, he's letting me be a mom, but now I'm having to be a mom and it's working. But it's like, I'm still really, I feel like if I can break my kid out of the talking back, like, and I get kids have feelings and stuff, but I'm like, I'm a millennial parent, meaning that I'm way more lenient than I probably should be. Okay. So, meaning that she's got a voice. The kid tells me how she feels all the time, whether it's about me or whether it's about somebody else. However, there's a proper place to do so. And when I'm talking to you and I'm giving you a directive, what you got to say don't matter. And that's the facts. I don't know. Like, this ain't an equal partnership, ma'am. You ain't paying bills, right? So if I tell you to do something and you know damn well, and this is how I know my daughter, listen, she's so smart, okay? I told her, I said, so when you have kids, we were talking about it randomly. And I was like, so what are you going to teach them? She goes on a list about what she about to teach her kids. And it was all the stuff that I'm trying to teach her that she be pushing back on. So the kid knows damn well I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and it's unfortunate that nobody else gave a fuck. It was more about hurting me than focusing and understanding that this kid is not going to be a baby for too much longer. She is about to be a grown ass adult. And I'm tough, but I'm not tough in the sense that she's still very impressionable. So I cannot, like, certain things I can't do because my daughter thinks in her mind she can do them too. So there's certain things that I just can't, like, because then she'll try to do it and then I'll lose my shit. So I much rather send her back to where she came from, where they taught her those behaviors were okay, and she hates it. And at some point, I got to figure out a new remedy because that's not going to work, right? I don't want my kid to be homeless and on the streets at 16 and shit. Right. So I definitely have to come up with a new way to do this. But I'm like, it ain't gonna, she has to go through this experience where she's beginning to realize that, damn, mommy was right. And it can't be of my own volition. It can't be because I'm telling her to do so, or I'm encouraging. It has to be via her eyes, her brain, her mind. So it's very interesting that the tables have turned on this, especially with her. I didn't think it would, but then again, the old folks used to tell me it would. I appreciate that her dad is being more lenient about things, but my fear is that that lady's gonna try to kick her up out of the house. Now my daughter says, well, mom, it ain't, I don't think dad's gonna go with what she says and yada yada yada. And all I'm thinking is your dad better not die before she does, because that's going we going it's going to have to be a whole, either that or the women that are still alive in her life, in his life, are going to have to fight for the property. Because all I'm thinking about is this lady done tried to keep you from me, and then she told my daughter that she don't like me because I'm not nice. This is what the bitch told my daughter. She doesn't like me because I'm not nice. And my daughter turned around and said, well, kill her with kindness. That's my daughter said she didn't really understand that. Obviously, she wasn't going to say certain things because she's out of respect. But she came to me, she said, I don't really understand that, because what, like, ultimately, what's that got to do with anything? You don't like me because I'm nice, and everything that I have been through, is that because this woman is nice? No. So I have been through the ringer with this lady only for my daughter to confirm this is what it is. And this lady gonna tell her you might be happiest living with your mom. Didn't you tell her that if she leaves, you'll never have her back in your life again? Aren't these the things that you've been telling this girl? And then you expect her not to, my daughter, not to be upset when you talking about me? That's crazy. It's crazy. So, like, for example, I was late to pick her up, but I was stuck in traffic, right? And I kind of lost track of time by an accident. I never am late to pick her up. So this is once out of like a year. Okay. Real talk. I am never late to pick up my kid, right? But this one time I happened to be just a few minutes late. Now, my daughter's father's house is like 2, 3 minutes away from the school. I live 30 minutes away from the school. Two different things. So my daughter was like, "Well, mom, in that area, she had an option. She could have went to the library. She didn't want to due to like her friendship situations and maybe being a little bit tired or whatever. I can't remember the reason she told me. But then she was like, "Well, I can just go home." I was kind of like, "Nah, because they're gonna make this into something it should not be." But then I'm thinking, well, kid, wherever you're comfortable at, then you need to go home. If that's. So I told her, say, yeah, give him a call, have him come pick you up. I was there at the school, I was at the school at her house within 7 minutes, at the school within 5 minutes. So I was late, but not by a whole lot. Okay. Realistically, I seen little kids sitting up in the front. I'm like, kid, technically, I wouldn't have made her do that just for protection things. But in my head, I'm like, oh, if there's kids still running around and kids waiting at the front, then I ain't that motherfucking late. Okay. So I drive to her dad's house. I go pick her up, and the little girl tells me that when she left, the woman didn't tell her bye. Now, you're her mama. You worked so hard to prove to this little girl that you're her mommy. The problem, though, is this was all to spite me. It clearly had nothing to do with the kid, right? My daughter tells her bye. The lady don't want to say bye. My daughter gets in the car. She says, I don't know why she didn't say bye to me. And that stuff hurts my daughter. It confuses my daughter. Because in my daughter's mind, it's like, but you say you love me, but you mad because I want to go hang out with my mom today. And then you have some nerve to talk about my mommy is being mean. I don't even talk to the lady, and I'll be damned. Like that relationship was ruined. There ain't no option. Like, we're not friends. We'll never be friends. And I mean, no offense. I'm sure my daughter understands why. She probably still is trying to figure that out. But I'm pretty sure my daughter at this point is like, listen, I don't care what y'all do. Leave me out of it. Let me be a damn kid. Right. So realistically, I don't go to my daughter and be complaining about this lady to my daughter. I don't give a fuck. Do you understand? The lady does that about me still at this age, and I'm like, girl, like, come the fuck on. You won the war. You took my kid. You stole my kid from me, bro. That's exactly what the fuck happened, all because I'm not nice. I said, you notice how the goalposts keep moving. So the excuse was, oh, I don't have my shit together. So now that I have my shit together, then it was, oh, I'm jealous, right? Because that's what they told the courts. I'm just so jealous, right? Now, obviously, that don't work because, bitch, I probably make a little bit more than you. But now it's become, oh, she's just not nice, bitch. The the listen. Somebody gonna have to answer to God. That's all I know. And I'm so grateful that this pendulum is swinging my way because I would prefer my kid. My kid needs to be with her goddamn mom. I'm sorry, she's at an age where she needs her mommy. She needs to learn how to be girly, how to do girly things. The shit that you're too fucking tired to teach her, her mommy can fucking teach her. But of course, I'm just not nice enough to have my kid. Not that I'm on drugs or that the child's being abused, but nope, I'm just not nice. That's why you don't like me. Bitch, I don't give a fuck if you don't like me. You know what I mean? Like, people think that shit matters. That shit don't hold no weight. The fuck? You don't like me, and I'm still me at the end of the day, and that's why my kid loves me. You see what I'm saying? It's two different things. So I've been dealing with that this weekend, but it was really cool to see that because anybody who knows what I've been going through and this kid being so damn wishy-washy and being coached on saying shit is now just at a point she ain't really ready yet. Okay, because what I told her is I said you need to tell your dad that you don't like how she talks to you, how she talks to you. You and dad need to have that conversation because she don't just do it with me, she does it about her daddy too. But I'm thinking, y'all ain't gonna break up. Listen, it's better for that lady to leave that house than Ayana's father, than my daughter's father to pass away. It's much better for that to happen before that lady does. They need to have, I hope, listen, even if it don't go to my daughter, I hope that they keep that shit in the family, that she don't get not a penny, not a dime of anything. I hope he's smart enough because something he tells her, my daughter, she thinks it's so funny because she tells her daddy all the time, excuse me, that the house, because I guess her dad always reminds a woman that she just lives in a house, right? And obviously they're together, so a happy wife makes a happy life. My daughter goes, but he chose the wrong wife, mommy. She goes, that ain't it. So apparently they're not as close as they used to be. Like they're not, man. And it's crazy to see that. It's real, real crazy to see it. Um, Lastly, y'all, I'm real excited to go back to work. Um, I'm nervous because it is a lot more work than what I'm accustomed to doing, okay? But it is work that will build my skill set and my career. And my credibility as I learn to do things and take things on. So it's very interesting. Like I said, how the tables have been turning for me, the pendulum has been swinging, bro. And y'all, I just been sitting here watching everything. Like folks done told me I'm crazy. I don't know what I'm talking about. And I just be watching stuff happen how it happens, right? This new position that I'm in, we'll see how it works with my personality type. But the fact that they were like, bro, I don't care about your personality. I care about whether or not you work hard. And everything that you do is documented, right? So that's the beauty of it. Like their systems are set up so much better than, well, they're already fully set up, right? So they're not in the process of trying to figure out processes and procedures and shit, right? They've already got that shit down packed. So that part helps. The idea that we don't have to be a family for us to like work, I appreciate that. I don't mind getting along with you. I don't mind us being respectful, right? I don't even mind if you say something a little crazy to me a little bit and maybe I take it the wrong way or whatever. I can handle that. But to the point where the shit that I was dealing with, that I'm not trying to deal with that shit again. Right. I'm not trying to have to be liked by everybody. I know I worked my butt off. I know that if there wasn't work, there wasn't work for me to do. And or if the work was slow, and or if I didn't take a break, I should have every right to chill out for a second. Right. Come the fuck on. When I go into people's offices, they're doing things that they shouldn't have been doing. So for me, I just feel like I was very underappreciated there. And we'll see what happens here. But what I do know is that this position puts me on track to become manager, to become VP. Now the rest of the work is on me. The rest of the work is on me. And in a year or two, I'm a millennial, but in a year or two, if I don't see no real progression in my pay, and I know I'm doing a hell of a lot more work, y'all, because I really am doing a lot more work, okay? And that's fine. I don't mind it. It's just gonna make me sharpen my skills and make me better. Um, and I'm doing, this is a thing too that's pretty cool about this company, you guys, is they're big companies. These are really big companies. Some of these, not all of them, but what he said was they work with mid to large size companies. So some of these clients are like people I guess I would have never thought of. I don't know, like Excel, right? That's huge. Like some of these clients are huge. And I'm sitting there thinking like, dang, okay, like that's room for growth because you're dealing with a larger, even if it's only 700 clients, their bank is bigger than anybody else's bank. You know what I mean? So I am excited to be able to work with some of these clients. I know I'm not going to get the big clients right away, right? I'm sure that as you grow, there's more, that goes into the process than just what I'm doing right now. Right now, it's just getting the systems down, which I'm pretty like I'm sharp, right? So I know that as long as I understand, and a lot of this again I'm gonna have to do, I gotta set my schedule, I gotta get my brain set for this rigorous schedule because it is a rigorous schedule, unfortunately. I gotta be there at 8 and then I gotta leave at 5. So that's a long day for me. I don't never have to do that. You can, you know. So again, it's gonna take some adjusting to. And then I'm also gonna have to really work my schedule, even with my clients, around my work. So that part is gonna be interesting. I no longer have to take a highway to work, which is great. I can literally take one street all the way to work, which is amazing. My job, if I wanted to on my lunch, I have enough time to come home and chill if I wanted to, which I'm probably going to start doing just to get home and be home a little bit more. Um so that part I like. The schedule itself, not so much. But I know that this is my time. What it's telling me, at least from what I can see, I've only been there for a day. But what I'm seeing this period of my life as is my period to get recertified, to get certified so that I can work my way up. Once I get my EA, I can go anywhere. I'm also going to be working on my business. I have a lot of things that I got going on with that. So I'm striving to ensure that I can grow a little bit quicker as long as I have the funding. That's the biggest thing, is having the funding, something I've learned plenty of times but never acted upon. Now I'm acting upon that. And in order to get the funding, I need funding. You see what I'm saying? So I've got to be working, and I'm going to use it as an opportunity to grow, to learn larger companies. To be able to work with, because I just feel like the more exposure you have, the better chances I have at really going to where I'm going. I don't see myself in this industry more than, like, if I get everything that I need from this company the way that it's being told to me that I have, I may be there. We'll see how many years, but realistically, I know that this is probably going to be my last stop in terms of firms, because I'm confident enough to know now that I can go anywhere. That's number one. And two, I can do this for myself. I just need the funding. So I need the funding to advertise. I need all of that. And that's the difference between some of these companies, that they had funding to get off the ground, whether it be their own personal funding, just knowing people who invested into the company, stuff like that. So this is where I'm at. I'm excited. I'm not excited to be in this position. I'm a little still PTSD. Okay. Kind of like, okay, what else am I going to expect? When is this going to, like, I still am a bit jaded from my previous experience, right? Because that was not the best experience. And I realized that even coming out of it, I'm like, damn, that's an experience that I've had before that could have completely gone the opposite way, right? And or not the opposite way, but like it could have gotten worse, right? So a part of me is like, I never want to be in that situation. I don't want to have to, I just don't want to be in that situation no more, right? I would never, like, I don't think that I will be working for a small company ever. Like, anytime I've worked for a business and I've worked for a small business, it just wasn't for me. If I gotta love you like my family, love is earned. Friendships are earned. It's not given, you know. So that it just wasn't the right fit for me. And obviously God agreed, everybody in the room agreed, right? And it's obvious when you hear about the things that I want to do with my life, it's obvious it wasn't the right fit for me, which makes sense because when I had my first interview, um That place, when I was telling them what I could do, I couldn't give them more in depth of what I could do really, because I realized I wasn't doing much. I was customer service. I was just a face. I don't want to be put in that spot again. I want someone who's going to see my value. One, put me to work, like, because that's the only way you learn. If I'm not being put to work, if I'm not doing accounting or taxes on a regular basis, how are you going to learn? Like, and if people are not wanting to teach you, how are you supposed to learn? So being in an environment where they're like, look, I'm confident as long, you let me, I can pull your skills up much higher, right? I'm confident that these are the opportunities that, I can see you going to. This is what you need to do, because me getting my certification shows that I'm willing to do it. Like, I'm hungry for it. I have a feeling people will put me in position as long as I'm showing them and continue to show them that I'm hungry for it. Which means that for me, it may not be as complicated of a path as I think. Like, one of my homegirls, she was telling me, well, if you're going to school to get your CPA, that's all you need. And I'm thinking, well, chick, like, yeah, but I've got a whole plan. I'm not trying to wait 2 more years if I can get that in 6 months, right? If I'm doing tax returns, you mean to tell me I'm not going to learn this stuff? Not only that, there's a way to learn it. So 6 months is all it needs to take me to really get that certification. As long as I'm dedicated to studying and not studying, again, it's a method to the madness. But if I'm doing it right and I'm doing it consistently, why wouldn't I be able to pass this? The latest at the beginning of next year. But I said October 31st, by the end of the year. That's it. So I've really got to get my butt into gear, man, because my daughter is, like I said, she's getting at an age where she wants to be with me full. Like, she's really getting to that point. I don't want to go home, and I have to tell her a lot of things. Like, even when I had to pick her up at 6 something and, at night, I said, baby, I said, you do know it's nothing to have someone come watch you. Even if I had to have someone come watch you for 3 hours at my house and hire a babysitter, girl, you good. Like, there's ways to do that if you didn't live 30 minutes away from me. The fact that you live a further distance from me, it makes it difficult to be able to say, you know what, at 6 o'clock I can come. Because she could have been home. If you're at my house and I don't, what her dad does is leave her there by herself for the most part. So if you're able to do that, you're old enough to be home for a few hours, and me come home at, when I get off, be there at 5:20, right? You get out of school what, at 3, right? So it's like, it ain't that much. It ain't like I'm doing something. That ain't like me being a bad mom. But let folks tell it that's me being irresponsible and all this jazz. And I'm just like, listen, my setup is not like y'all's, you know? And I gotta do what I gotta do so that I can get my house. Cause I have a feeling my daughter, I know where my daughter's gonna wanna be. And I'm not gonna not take her in. I know that I've got to figure out, a new method to discipline. It's very hard right now because there's no consistent path for her. Um, but when she chooses to be with me, it can't be, oh, well, you gotta go. I have to have space in my house to where she can go and do something, and I ain't gotta hear her, see her, as long as I know she's safe and out of my face. You know what I mean? That's all I need. I don't have that structure set up right now. One bedroom, my one bedroom is tiny, tiny. It's not meant for that kind of, like, I don't know. So my focus this year is really big. It's very crucial. What just happened and what just transpired between positions that I was in is telling me that I know what I want, and I know that God is redirecting me to go in the position that I deserve, in the position that I say that I want to go into. I think all that did was reaffirm that I know what I'm talking about and what I feel and what I'm experiencing. Um, and so a part of me is like excited because it's a new journey for me, not the job itself, but this entire, like, the bigger picture of it all. Because everything right now is like, I need the income so I can fund the certification. My certification is like $259 per test. Okay. That's expensive. Okay. Not only that, I plan on paying for, I'm not going to go to the Latino Tax Fest, but I think I want to do the courses online. Right. So I want to pay for that so I can get all of my stuff to be credentialed by the beginning of this year, next year. And then I got to pay for my EA courses and continue to pay for the subscription and all that. So I'm kind of like, I know I need money, right? So I'm gonna do it the right way. And in the meantime, again, I'm using this as a learning opportunity because I can still learn a lot. Um, and grow my skill sets. If I'm doing this every day, all day, and I've got 21 CPAs to go to, then I should be right on track. You know what I mean? I feel like this is only going to push me further. And the title itself, when you start looking at the pyramid and how it works in accounting, I kind of wasted a whole year of my a whole year of my time. I will say this though. I say I wasted a year, but I learned a hell of a lot. So we'll see how much I've really wasted. Um, and I appreciate getting my foot in the door, right? Because who knows, maybe there wouldn't have been a better opportunity for me at that time, right? I appreciate getting my foot in the door. This position is like, nah, you know a little bit more. I'm gonna need you. It's like preparing me for something bigger, right? So the things that I'm doing is gonna be repetitious, it's gonna be tedious, but I do it anyway. These are things that I already know how to do. I'm just gonna be building upon those skill sets and really learning how to do it for much larger corporations. So that's going to be pretty cool because I have not done any bookkeeping or accounting for bigger corporations. I've done it for small businesses. And well, yeah, small businesses. I'm going to have to learn how to time manage my clothing in terms of what I wear. I think that I could get away with a lot of what I wear. I'm just going to have to throw a jacket on top. That's really what I'm coming down to. Maybe get a little bit more, dressy kind of pants, not jeans, because I wear a ton of jeans. But for the most part, like in the summers, as long as I wear a dress, I'm covered, which I got a ton of dresses. But I'm just gonna have to step my game up in my look, just make it a little bit less. I don't want to say less sexy is the word, but less. I bought all my clothes in large. Let's put it that way. So you can't see my curves as much. I mean, y'all, I'm a tiny girl and I feel like skinny women get away with it easier. But I just, if you want me to dress professional or business casual, it's got to look a certain kind of way, right? I just want it to look a little bit more mature, not with me like where my dresses be tight, girl. Y'all don't even understand. Wearing more heels because I have a crap ton of heels, but I never wear them. Finding toed heels instead of open toed heels. So it's a lot of changing my wardrobe up just a little bit, adding to it, whatever. So that's been interesting. But outside of that, you guys, that has been like my weekend. It's just really realizing that I'm right about a whole lot of shit. And not even that I'm right. Maybe that's the wrong term, what I want to say. When people mess with me, I kind of know things. I'm a Pisces. I see a lot of things before I think that the people will be willing to admit, right? And I know when things are about to happen as they come down the pipeline, and not even, I know it before it's happening. And I'm not necessarily psychic. I only know what's happening with my life, right? Because I read patterns in behavior in people very well. So if I see certain things happening, I know how to read up on those cues. And again, I don't believe that for myself, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? I don't think that I'm in a situation where I'm just thinking negative and now all this negative shit is happening. I think that I really attempt to go in with a positive outlook and positive, thought process. The difference with me now is that I'm just not the girl who takes anybody's shit, because I've been through enough to know that I should have been leaning on myself a lot more than I have been. I know that my intuition, even when I didn't speak up, right? And when I was quiet and, it was correct. So now I'm in a space where I've worked so hard to become the person that I am, that I'll be damned if I allow anybody to disrespect me. And if you don't value me as a person, as a human being, you can bet your bottom dollar somebody will. See, I'm one of those girls, I'm learning now, is that I create my own path. I forge my own path in my life. I don't care what other people are talking about. I just don't. Right? I care in the sense that, I'm human and I care, but that's about it. You're not going to get too much more out of me. Just like at that job, I used to tell them all the time. I said, listen, y'all want me to care in a way that demeans me. I'm not fucking caring about shit that y'all care about. You mad because you think I said, or you perceived I said something a certain way, so now you want to take your inner issues out on me. That ain't got shit to do with me. Trust me, I'm brave enough to show you when I'm upset. Because I had to tell my daughter this other, just because I'm telling you, watch your attitude, has nothing to do with me being mad. Understand that there's a huge difference. I'm correcting you. Now, when I start yelling and I'm telling you to do something and not, that's me being mad, right? It's a clear night and day difference of me being mad and not mad. So I feel like I'm in a space now where I'm done owning people's shit. I'm done taking on people's shit, right? And it sucks because I know people don't get it. They don't understand me. They don't understand it. But I said that I'm always going to stay true to me. That is my promise to myself. And if I can't be if the space is not called for me to be myself, you can bet your bottom dollar I'm picking up on all the cues that you laying down. I'm picking up on all the breadcrumbs you put down. So even if it's something as simple as a sentence and you said it once, don't think for a fact that I haven't replayed why you said that over and over again. Then I move on. Okay, you may do something else. Now I'm picking up on the fact that you said the previous thing and what you said, right? So it's a pattern. And I'm done taking on people's shit. I'm done allowing me, like, I don't feel like I'm in a space right now. The way that job was set up for me to get my job, like, they laid me off on Tuesday and I got a job Thursday. Like, I don't think that and you know what's so cold is because I'm very wise in the sense that I know when you could be moving too fast, and what if you're jumping into something too soon. But in my head, all the things that I need to accomplish, I have to have funding for. So I'm thinking, well, as long as you got another year, because this was the plan anyway. This was the plan that when I went on vacation, I was dead set on doing. So if that means that I have to swallow my pride and work for somebody else for a little bit, because I do, and that's because of financial reasons, and it's because I'm still building my business. But I think part of why I'm still building my business is due to lack of funding. So I didn't know I should have been doing a lot of this stuff at Mike's, but I had other things that I needed to be taken care of that really let me put me in this position and allowed me to be where I'm at you know so I recognize that, and this year I've got more things on my plate that I have to get done. I don't like it, but I know that in a year from now I may be able to drive that Audi I want. I know that because of the moves I know I have to take now, I may be able, and because I'm gaining, my skill sets are strengthening, right? I'm not just sitting and not doing anything. That makes me even a better candidate once I get this certification. It makes me 10 times better and 10 times more valuable, you know? Now the dude is telling me 10 years. I know damn well it don't take 10 years. I know that when somebody's willing to put in the work and they're going above and beyond, and I'm not going to go above and beyond here, right? I'm not going to do that. I'm in a space where I'll put in the work, but I ain't going to go above and beyond. I'm not going to do extra and all. No, mm-mm. When that clock hits for me to go, it's time for me to go. Maybe I'll stay a little late. Maybe I want to be recognized. Like if I have a project and it makes sense for me to stay later, I'll stay later. But I know damn well it ain't about to take no 10 years for me to move up. All I got to do is switch a new job and I'll be fine. I know that once I get that certification, it ain't going to take me 10 years. That's the thing. I know that people say those things because they would much rather you stay for 10 years than for you to go on and flourish because it's their business. They're thinking in terms of business, not really my success, right? I get it. Just know in the back of my head, it ain't taking 10 years. You can't get me to where I want to go in 5, 2, and 1. Even with me putting in the work, you're not for me. So right now, I'm willing to give it a shot. It's a lot, you guys. I'm like, dang, it's a lot of work. And I was doing a lot of work, just it looked different. So maybe this is more of my alley and my speed, right? So I respect that. A lot more roles that I have to get used to that I'm just not used to. Um, so we'll see. That's where I'm at, you guys. We will see. We'll see, man. I'm nervous. Part of me is like, what if I don't do good? But so far it seems like I'm doing okay. But I just started, right? But they threw me into stuff like right away, which was crazy. Because the training, I'm so above the training that it's like, okay, like even the girl said, if I have you sit here and watch me all day, I feel like I'm gonna be wasting your time. And it's the truth. Like you give me a software, I don't need you to train me on I mean, maybe a little bit. Maybe I need to watch you once or twice to see what you do. But you're not the only way you're going to get me to learn the software is by letting me touch it. How I learned, and that's how I learned the quickest. So they gave me work. I mean, I was sitting around and I asked him if I had something to do. He gave me some bookkeeping. They gave me some tax. They want me to study their tax software, but I'm thinking we got the same tax software. I'm just not certified in the software, but I got the same exact software. So in my head, it's like I know how to use your software. So if the training comes with certification, then why not? While I'm there. And then just really budgeting my time while I'm at home. You know, hopefully, me not having all the time in the world will lead to me not spending money. I got a little bit of a raise, not much. I don't know if that's because I didn't ask for more or if it was because I asked for more. You know what I mean? I don't know. So I'm still learning really what my position even really gets paid, to be honest with you. They don't even really know my title yet, although I think I know what my title will be. I'm gonna be doing tax returns. That's fine. I'm gonna be doing bookkeeping and stuff. That's fine. Accounting, stuff like that. Um, Possibly everything that I already do for my business, just for much larger companies. So I'm excited about the opportunity, you guys. I have a big plan this year. I have to get it done. It's not an option. So with that being said, I hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. I'm gonna get out of here because I have some bookkeeping to do. But with that being said, I'm out. Peace.